everyone. So my name is Allison Pascone, and I am an early learning librarian with Pierce County Library System. And I am here today to talk to you and share with you some fun games that you can do on the flannel board with your children around a specific early literacy skill. And so the early literacy skill I want to talk to you about today is one called letter knowledge. And letter knowledge it is basically what it sounds like. It's children's understanding of the letters in our alphabet. So understanding that the alphabet has 26 different letters, that each letter is represented by its own symbol, 2 for each letter, right? Because we have a capital and we have a lowercase letter. And that each letter also has its own name and makes its own sound, or sounds depending on the letter that you're talking about. Some letters, like the vowels A, E, I, O, and U, make a lot of different sounds. And so that's one thing I think that's especially confusing about our language, English, is that vowels make lots of different sounds depending on the word they're used in. So there's a lot to learn when it has to do with letters and letter knowledge for young children. Because they're starting from scratch, right? So they've got a lot to learn about letters, but you can make it really fun. And so one of the ways that you can start to teach toddlers and really young children about letters is just starting with the concept of things being alike and different, and maybe starting with 3 or 4 basic shapes instead of starting with letters. So, talking about a circle and a square and a triangle, maybe a star or a rectangle. So you have just a few different shapes, and talk about how they're different. There's so many of these shapes that can be found in toys that young children play with all the time, like in balls. Ball is like a circle or a sphere. In their blocks, if they're building with blocks, there's all different shapes there. They are shapes. And lots of different things if they're playing with dishes in a kitchen area. You can find the dishes or the food, and they represent a lot of different shapes too. So just talking about shapes, because if you think about it, like this is letter O, but it's also round like a circle. So it's a basic shape. Or like this letter A is it's like a triangle shape. It's got lines that come down like this. So they're seeing letters when they see shapes, seeing letters and shapes. So once children start to understand the difference between the different shapes, you can start to introduce a few basic letters, and of course starting with something that's important to them, like their name, their first name, and talking about the letters that are in their first name. You could write it out for them and talk about each different letter. You could have fun with Play-Doh, making letters from Play-Doh in their name, or you could write it in some sand so they feel how it feels, or write it in shaving cream or some kind of a paint so they get a different texture and they can see and feel what the letter feels like. There's a lot of fun ways to play and work with letters, and I think Play-Doh is one of my favorites. But another of my favorites is by using the flannel board. And so I have a couple of flannel board games I want to share with you today. And I think the first one is one that many of you will recognize. It is a very, very well-known song and a familiar, put it over this way. I have to figure out how my camera's going here. It's a well-known song that we all know, and it's got 5 letters. I put the letters up here already, B, I, N, G, and O. And so as we sing this song, we take a letter off, and I have something else I'm going to put up here so children know that they have to clap instead of say the letter when they see my hand that I'm going to put up. So let's just do a little bit of the song today. There was a farmer, had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, B-I-N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh, and I'm going to take one letter off. Which letter went away? See which letter is gone? Letter B went away. I have something else I'm going to put up here instead. I have a hand. So when you see a hand, you get to clap instead of saying the letter that's missing now, right? Instead of saying letter B. Okay. There was a farmer, had a dog and Bingo was his name. Oh, I-N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh, okay, letter I is going away. And now I have another hand. Whoops. There we go, put it over there. So now, how many hands are there? There are 1, 2, so that means we're gonna do this many claps. There was a farmer, had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh, let's take another letter off. Letter N is going to go away now. Oh my gosh, all our letters are going away. And now we have another hand instead. Oops, it's covering up the G. Let's move it over a little bit. We have another hand. So now how many hands are there? 1, 2, 3. So this is how many claps we're going to do. You ready? There was a farmer, had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh, so of course you would keep going. You'd take off the G and put up a hand. I don't actually have the hands to quite match. Well, this one matches. But then with this, I'm going to take off my last letter and put up my last hand here. And so when you have the 5 hands, it means you just clap. You don't say any of the letters. I was tapping the table because I have a handful here. But oh, looks like my farmer is wearing a hat. We'll pull my farmer down. So this is a fun one to do to illustrate letters and to talk about how when you put all the letters together, you make a word, right? You make the word bingo. Then you can also take them away and clap in it in place of the letters. So they're thinking about individual letters and they're thinking about how letters go together to make, in this case, the dog's name Bingo. So I'm going to take these off for a minute. And before I put up my next flannel board, I wanted to mention that my letters are not made with the fabric and with the iron-on method that we do for like bingo, for example, where we iron on the fabric, which I'll be showing you the method in a different video soon. Same with the farmer. That's how we made the farmer. But my letters are just die cuts. And so if you have access to a die cut machine or know of a place where you can go and get things die cut, and I have to recommend Bates Technical College, which I will look up soon and put on another video about their open hours and their resource center. But they have a ton of die cuts, I believe over 500, and I believe that they should be open some hours during this time too. But die cut letters are so much easier to make than trying to make them with ironing on with the fabric. Because if you do it the way that our method teaches it, the letters will come out backwards. And so you actually have to, if you want to make the letters with fabric, like I did do them here, you have to trace them backwards, and then you'll iron them on so they flip around to come out facing the correct way. So it's a little bit trickier than anything you're doing with a picture or a person or an animal or things like that. So they're so much easier to do on the die cut, and they're easy for children to see and read, and they're just as fun. So my recommendation is do letters and numbers too on using a die cut machine. It's easier. All right, but I have another game I want to do with you now. I'm going to put bingo away, and I'm going to put up another word, and we're going to do the same tune that we did with bingo, but this time I'm going to put my letters out, and then you'll see, hopefully you'll be able to see the word. My felt I did in dark green and dark blue, so it's kind of hard to see against the black background of my board, but we'll see if it works here. And I have a picture, so you'll see who I'm going to be singing about today too. Oh, I got to move it over. So I have an R-O-B-O-T, and this word makes the word, these letters make the word robot. So you can do the same tune as bingo. and you would just say, you could make up however you want to say it. I usually say, there is a word that starts with R. Robot is its name. O R O B O T. R O B O T. R O B O T. Robot is its name. Oh, and then you would do the same thing where you take the R off and put up a hand so that they're clapping just like they are for bingo. And it's teaching about another word that they can see the picture down here. So it's kind of a fun variation of bingo. I've also seen people do it with the word pizza, where you could say there is something that's good to eat and pizza is its name-o, and then P-I-Z-Z-A. You could have the kids clap P-I-Z-Z-A, so they're hearing all the letters that go together. I've done it with pasta. There is something yummy to eat. Pasta is its name-o. I've done it with apple. Any word that has 5 letters in it works really well with this tune. But if you find a different tune, you could do a word that was a little bit shorter or longer too. So it's kind of endless possibilities that you can do with this game. And I have one more game I want to show you on the flannel board now. And again, I'm going to put up some letters to make a word. Let me hold it up so you can see as I'm putting up the letters. I have letter B, letter E. I hope it all fits here. I have to squish them together. I have letter A. I have letter R. And last one is letter S. So this makes the word bears. B-E-A-R-S. You put it together, it spells the word bears. So this is a song about different kinds of bears. I got this song from Nancy Stewart. This is one of Nancy Stewart's songs, and Nancy Stewart is a local singer and songwriter, and she does all kinds of programs for children. She travels all around. She's based out of Mercer Island. She has a website that it's just nancymusic.com, all one word, Nancy Music and then .com. And I encourage you to check it out. She has wonderful ideas and resources on there all around literacy, skills, and music. So, but this is one of my favorites by her. This is bears. Here we go. Bears, 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 so many kinds of bears. Pick a letter, then tell me what kind of bear you see. So I usually I pick the first one and then I have children choose after that just so they get the idea of how the game works. So I'll start with B. We're going to take it off and we're going to bring a bear up for everybody to see. Can you tell what kind of bear this is? So this is a panda bear. And fun fact about pandas, pandas love to eat a plant called bamboo. That's kind of a funny word, huh? Pandas eat lots and lots of bamboo. All right. Oh, look now, E-A-R-S. This is actually a different word. This is ears. Oh my gosh, that makes a different word. But we're still going to sing about bears. Bears, 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 so many kinds of bears. Pick a letter, then tell me what kind of bear you see. How about A? Let's not go in order. Let's take A off. And I have somebody else. I'm going to show you another kind of bear. So this bear, let's put him over here. This is a grizzly bear. He's also sometimes called a brown bear. And he usually lives in Alaska or northern Canada, places like that, in the mountains, up in the mountains. So, grizzly bear. All right. Bears, 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 so many kinds of bears. Pick a letter, then tell me what kind of bear you see. R. Take R off. Ooh, and this bear is going to be hard to see. I'm going to hold him up first so you can see him. So this is a black bear. He's a lot smaller than the grizzly bear, but he's still pretty big. And black bears like to eat berries, and I bet they probably like to get honey and catch fish. So I'm going to put the black bear over here. Oh my gosh, we're running out of room. Let's see if we can fit the last two bears. Bears, 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 so many kinds of bears. Pick a letter, then tell me what kind of bear you see. E. Let's take E off. Oh, this is the biggest of all the bears coming up now. So this bear lives up north where it's really cold and icy and snowy. This is a polar bear. And he is the biggest of all the bears. We got one bear left. Ready? Bears, 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 so many kinds of bears. Pick a letter, then tell me what kind of bear you see. S. Let's take S off. Oh, it's really stuck. There we go. So this bear is called a sun bear. He is the smallest of all the bears, and he lives where it's really hot in tropical places, like in Southeast Asia, I think is where this bear lives. He's a sun bear. I'm going to put him over here. Biggest bear is polar bear. Smallest of all the bears is the sun bear. So I love this flannel board because it's teaching about letters, of course, like our other ones did, and how letters go together to form words. But it's also got some good science information in there because you can introduce as much information about bears as you like in this one. And then I have also used Nancy's song, her same tune, but I've done bugs instead of bears. And then in that case, of course, we look up and show different types of bugs. So children learn about different kinds of bugs, and then you can talk about the different things that the bugs do. So you could do other kinds of animals with this, so you could turn it into lots of fun science lessons using that same tune. So thank you so much for tuning in today, and like I said, I will be sharing soon the method for how to make these fabric flannel board pieces. I'm going to be doing a couple videos about that and breaking it down step by step so you'll get to see, so you can try and practice making them at home on your own too. And I will also have a video with some more resources about die cuts and where to do those. So thanks, and we'll see you soon.